Oh, yeah, baby. 1-800-449-8255. And have I got an album for all of you today, right here on the spectacle known as the Clark the Shark fiasco. I'm sorry, talk radio show right here on WABC Radio New York. Coming to you live on Sunday night, March 17th, 2024. St. Patrick's Day, I believe. So be careful out there on our roads. As I said from the Hermosa Saloon microphone, on August 16th, 1991. A lot of people die out there on our roads. Drive safe, people. Don't drink too much of the green dyed St. Patrick's ale or kegs of liquid courage or whatever it is tonight or tomorrow too. I remember, you guys, I used to drink a lot, me, Clark the Shark, but I don't now. It's not good for your liver. It's like bad for your kidneys and your skin and your hair and your eyeballs and like everything, dude. It's gross. Don't do it. Plus, like if you're an Uber driver, the last thing you ever want and one of your worst nightmares is when a drunk person gets into your Uber car. Oh yeah, you guys, I'm not even going to go there or talk about what could happen and often does, which usually involves a parking lot at Jack in the Box when you have to pull over and your rider is hunched over cement. He didn't quite make it to the toilet. I'm not going to fully describe the situation, but I think you guys know where I'm going right here on the Clark the Shark Show. 1-800-449-8255, the Wolfman Jack on crack from the fabulous golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's not a microphone because mere microphones are spoken into by mere mortal men. And me, Clark the Shark, today I'm talking about an incredible album, the second album by URIAH HEEP Salisbury. Salisbury is spelled, but we all call it Salisbury. Now, this version here with the tank and the orange smoke, where they're training, like the British military or whatever. This is not the version that I know back in the South Bay, Redondo Beach, Torrance, Hermosa Beach. I know the one where it's got like a skeleton guy or his skin is all, it's really gross, scary cover. It might be a better cover for idiots, but this cover here with the tank is for intelligent people. And of course, the tank is in the UK and Canada, and the skeleton, like gross guy out of his skin or whatever. It's so I don't even know what it is. That cover is in the United States, and that is the cover that I, Clark the Shark, know. But I'm going to review the British release version of this album. Not caring what a lot of you care or think or know, because these songs are all over the internet, and my sister Kathy, of course, met David Byron and all that back in the South Bay, Redondo. I don't want to go into that story as it is legend, but she had the album with the skeleton skull, creepy guy, that cover. The cover that I know in the South Bay. And then later, of course, that album would migrate into my big vinyl collection, and I would listen to it a lot. That's right, me, Clark the Shark, at 1-800-449-8255. But I'm going to discuss the British version of one of the greatest albums ever recorded. I'm not kidding you guys. This album is incredible. And it's only their second album. Their first one was incredible. It was really good. But this one goes to another level, and I mean on all levels. Particularly the title track Salisbury, where they got horns and woodwind and brass, and it almost sounds like Frank Zappa off like 200 Motels or something. It's just really incredible. Maybe even like Pink Floyd, Atom Heart Mother or something. It's really fucking dynamic. But now this album here, of course, Hensley sings a couple of tunes. Byron sings most of it. It's an early days Uriah Heep classic. One of their really, really, really fucking great, good, solid albums from the glory days, the early days with David Byron. They would get, maybe equal or better than this as they go, but this is so fucking amazing, you guys. The Magician's Birthday is good. Of course, The Wizard and all that is good. And, David Byron would later either be fired or quit the band or something. Somehow they parted ways with him, and they got that other singer, Lawton, which was pretty good. They made 3 interesting albums. And then they tried to get back with David Byron, and he told Uriah Heep to hit the proverbial road. And maybe perhaps, well, he should have, right here on the Clark the Shark Show. But in the early days of this band, I don't see why or how this band today isn't revered, respected, regarded like Led Zeppelin, the Stones, the Who. They're not, you guys, and I can't figure it out. They're not even right there with like Deep Purple and Jethro Tull and shit like that. And it's weird because they're a better band than all of those bands that I just mentioned. And, the people who know Uriah Heep, like King Diamond and others, and me, Clark the Shark, we know there's no comparison. This band was and still is, legacy-wise, in my view, in my book, Clark the Shark, the greatest band of all time. I'm not kidding. They are. Their albums are incredible. Always killer albums, always killer live when they play. They make no mistakes. They're incredible. And yet all the glory seems to go to the Who, Keith Moon getting drunk, and, Deep Purple with Richie and John Lord soloing forever. It just seems pointless. And then Zeppelin with Page and Plant and Bonham. Bonham's like a Keith Moon, wrecking hotels and blowing things up, and Plant gets all the chicks, and Jimmy Page is this dark, satanic wizard. And yet Uriah Heep are just musicians. They're straight shooters. They don't mess around. Their fucking live show is incredible, and so too are their albums. These guys don't get the respect, revere, regard, and the love that they deserve. And thank God there is me, Clark the Shark, right here on the Clark the Shark Show at 1-800-449-8255, because I will make sure these guys get the glory that they deserve forever and ever. God rest his soul, David Byron. When he left this band, quit or was fired, whatever happened, he never recovered, and he died from alcohol, and he had his chance to get back in the band, and he didn't take the chance. And me, I wouldn't have done it either, Clark the Shark. I would have told these guys to go to hell. And that's whether I quit or was fired. That doesn't even matter, If they don't see the brilliance in David Byron, it's like, you don't know what to say. This album, I don't care what the stars say. There's that cover with that weird looking thing, like Skin Man, whatever, the evil ghoul that's all looks like he's been tortured and like he got abducted, like an Uber Eats driver at the door, or maybe curbside, and then that's how they found him about a week later, right here on the Clark the Shark Show. The US version is that real ghoulish cover that we all know, and maybe a few, satanic freaks got into this cover or something. I didn't really get into it. It's too creepy and ghouly and scary. I like the Tank because I feel it more represents this amazing music here. And I don't care what the stars say, all music only gives it a 2.5. That's surprising because usually all music gets it right or better than that. Record Collector, 4 out of 5. That's more accurate, you guys. I would give this a 5, and out of 10, I'd give it a 10, of course. I'm going to review the UK release, you guys. Bird of Prey, one of the greatest songs ever. Starts out with just this shriek of a scream from Byron. Written by Mick Box, Byron, Hensley, and Paul Newton. Wow. Bird of Prey. I can't say enough of how amazing that song is with the, the little vocals that sound like a little elf, like so silly or something. It's all, but it's so fucking killer. Bird of Prey, and technical guitar, keyboards. It doesn't sound like Deep Purple, you guys. Not at all. It is its own song. Incredible, explosive, a great way to start the British version of the album. And it's just so atmospheric, melodic, and textured, and beautiful. Bird of Prey, powerful. The singing's so powerful from David Byron. The scream is so legendary. Awesome. The Park, track 2, sung or sang. I'm not sure the plural or adverb or adjective or whatever. Pronoun, super pronoun. Sung by Hensley. And it's great, you guys. It's like kind of mellow or something. Like the Park is it's got this little organ floating in it, mellow, acoustic, light drums, lovely, beautiful vocals. It's just lovely, you guys. It is. It's beautiful. It's lovely. Buy this album just for track 2, The Park. Such an amazing song. And Time to Live, which could be a Deep Purple like song, but no, you guys. Amazing, explosive intro to Time to Live. It just explodes at you. And, it's like an Ian Gillan thing, you guys, but meets Robert Plant. Of course, it has a trademark scream in it. Awesome keyboards, too. Time to Live. It should be lit up in blue, you guys. Incredible song. These first 3 songs make this album an instant classic, you guys. How people think Led Zeppelin 4 or Who's Next or the Stones, Sticky Fingers or Aqualung, or those, albums from ELP or Yes are so much better than this. I don't get, you guys. Lady in Black, of course, Hensley, singing and writing again like The Park. Just incredible, you guys. Incredible. Dude, this album's so incredible. Every single song is amazing, you guys. High Priestess. Now, there's a little controversy on High Priestess, side 2. This song sounds like a lot like Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. Written by Hensley. Wait a minute, you guys. Hensley sings High Priestess, I think, not Lady in Black. Lady in Black is Byron, but High Priestess sounds like a slowed down version of Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes' Journey to the Center of Your Mind. It does, you guys. High Priestess. I think even Ted Nugent himself has mentioned this about this song. High Priestess, written by Hensley. I'm not kidding. Listen to the song. It sounds like they slowed down a journey to the center of Shark's mind. It does, you guys. It almost trips you out like you're on LSD or weed or mushrooms, or you're like, you think you're listening to the Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes song, either sped up or slowed down, but you trip out, dude. I remember smoking weed and tripping and going, this song is a ripoff of that song. I'm not kidding. It is completely. And yet they're different. They're nothing like each other, yet they're similar. It's true, you guys. Check the two songs out and compare High Priestess by URIAH HEEP with Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes' Journey to the Center of Shark's Mind. And you will be blown away how alike they are. There could almost be a lawsuit there. Just the tempo is so changed, and a little bit of arranging and structure is changed, but they are alike. I'm not kidding. Now, Salisbury, the long, drawn out classic with all the horns and brass and woodwind. It's so mature and ahead of what you would expect from URIAH HEEP, you guys. Salisbury, an incredible song. It doesn't get its due in history. It doesn't, you guys. Face it. It's such a great song, and it doesn't get the respect it needs or requires or deserves or something. What an incredible song, Salisbury, 1620. If you want to hear music that's more mature than heavy metal or hard rock or hard blues rock or, typical rock and roll, if you want to go into a realm, an area, a realm, if you will, of expansion, it almost sounds like Pink Floyd, Atom Heart Mother at times. And it reminds me a little of Frank Zappa. I'm not kidding. Better than Zappa. Salisbury. It's incredible, you guys. I love that song. I love this album. This album's incredible. Every single song. Lady in Black almost has a country vibe, you guys. The Park and Lady in Black. Two interesting songs. I get them all confused, but I don't. They are all different. This album is very mature, very grown up, very adult rock, you guys, for only a second album from a band. And it is leaps and bounds ahead of that first album. Baby, they make progress here, but they ain't done yet, because in the future, we all know what would happen later with URIAH HEEP. These guys would just go fucking insane and be amazing, you guys, with one killer album after the next. I've reviewed many of them already, you guys. The US release has a song called Simon the Bullet Freak, which is awesome. Probably the best song on the album, weirdly, but it's not on the UK album, you guys. Strange, isn't it? And then there's all these, they did a reissue, remaster, how they do at major labels, squeezing every ounce of money, or maybe just having fun, getting all the shit on one album, with all these B-sides, bonus tracks, remixes, all, additional tracks. And gosh, I love High Priestess. What a song, but it is too much like the Amboy Dukes. I think Hensley and Mick Box have even said that, and David Byron, and they all laugh. They're like, well, we were listening to Ted Nugent, and we dropped, acid and then wrote a song like it. They did, you guys. Almost exactly like it. David Byron, of course. God rest his soul. Yeah, High Priestess and Lady in Black. Mick Box. He doesn't sing. Mick Box. Well, I mean, I would love to hear Mick Box sing, you guys. He never does. Hensley sings, of course, from the organ and on later albums. When they get Lawton in the band for those 3 albums, I kind of wish Ken Hensley would sing more. But, I love his singing. And eventually, he does do his solo shit, Lady in Black and High Priestess. High Priestess is just such a ripoff of the Ted Nugent song, you guys. And Paul Newton, who wouldn't last in the band, but later comes back and plays with like a version of a celebration of Uriah Heep with Lawton and I think Mick Box. I'm not sure, you guys. But he didn't last, Paul Newton on bass. And this guy named Keith Baker, he's only on this album, I think, you guys, or he doesn't last in the band. These guys, of course, would eventually settle into a classic lineup with that one bass player that we all know and that drummer that we all know, both of which are incredible. But this was the early days, you guys. They weren't ready. They were still not ripe, very green, like a green banana. And yet, this is very mature and grown up. I admit it's confusing. Some people might even think this is like a super produced $1 million demo where they're auditioning to become the later Uriah Heep that I, Clark the Shark, would review. But right now at this album, or I should say right then, back in the day, 1971, recorded in 1970, this incredible ahead of its time band that does not get the accolades or acclaim or respect or reverement or regard that they deserve. Sadly, it's not fair, you guys. And I think I'm going to give them the respect and everything here right now and say this is one of the greatest albums ever recorded of all time. It is. That's all I can say about Uriah Heep Salisbury. Versus Led Zeppelin 4, I would take this. Versus Who's Next, I'd say they're about equal. I'm not kidding. Versus Deep Purple, Machine Head. Man, you guys, it's close. This is fucking awesome. I think a lot of people knock this band, Uriah Heep, because Uriah Heep are willing to try new things. These guys are like that band that will pull out a harmonica or an accordion or something weird and funny, or, a harp or a dulcimer. No. A mandolin or just they'll do something silly like polka. They're not afraid to try new things and try everything, you guys. And that might be to their detriment with the heavy metal and hard rock fans that they rely upon to make a living, to make money, you guys. And even me, look at me, Clark the Shark. I love Uriah Heep. They're my number one favorite band, and yet something gets me all confused and mixed up. Even now, at age 59, I'm turning 59 April 27, 2024, next month, about 1 month from today now. I'm 58 still, holding on to it. But at my advanced age, even me, I get things all confused with Uriah Heep this is like a band. You got to sit down and study them to make sure you get it right. You can't just listen to them. You want to dissect every bit of info about this incredible band and all their lives and all their funny ways. You'll never hear a funnier group of guys. You know, they're the type of chaps that put on googly glasses with pop out eyeballs. And when you interview them, they're never serious, and they're always pulling down their pants and playing a kazoo and rolling around on the ground playing and monkeying around. And their playful, youthful spirit is that's just how they are. They're funny, you know, especially Mick Box. The guy is just like a can of worms. Funny worms. Not serious. And yet they have all these serious dramas in this band where it's constant lineup changes. People are constantly coming and going. There's fights, there's bickering, there's endless drama. There's the thing with David Byron where they kicked him out, or, you know, he was going to quit anyway, you know, like that. They said he was a bad drunk alcoholic when everyone in the band was a drug using alcoholic. As far as I know, I could be right or wrong, but I'm not sure if Mick Box was or Hensley. Those guys seem pretty on the ball. They may have had their problems with it, but they took out their frustrations on David Byron. And then they came crawling back to the guy later. And he told them no, maybe foolishly. Perhaps that was his chance to get back in the Heap. We will never know. But sadly, David Byron would die of alcoholism. And I guess cirrhosis of the liver, kidneys, and all that. You know how that is. He died at a very young age, passing away far too soon. Too much, too fast. You know that song by Airborne. Oh, dude. Too much, too fast, too young, dude. It's a bummer he's gone, because he would have made incredible solo albums, maybe. I think he tried to. And, Mick Box and Hensley were like, yeah, hey, your solo thing isn't happening. Come on back. And he's like, no, I won't. It's sad the way it all went down. I love the 3 albums with Lawton. After that, I lose my interest focus and I lose my way with Uriah Heep when they get a couple of new singers, and that one new singer that they may even have still to this very day. I don't really follow that version of Uriah Heep, but perhaps I should get more into that. But I'm way too into these early days. You know, even the days with Lawton singing, you guys, are interesting. More interesting than good, yet very, very good. But these first 5, 6 albums or so are more good and more interesting than just interesting, you guys. Every fucking album by Uriah Heep is incredible, and you have to buy them at Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, especially if you're only 18 years old right now in 2024, and you were born long after 9/11, September 11, 2001, when the World Trade Centers went down, when those, 16 Al-Qaeda terrorists, I'm not sure, maybe 20. They hijacked those jets, flew them into the World Trade Center. Mohammed Atta was the leader, but we all know Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, they were the real leaders that day. And they destroyed the World Trade Center Twin Towers in New York. Right here where I am, Clark the Shark on WABC Radio. You, young person, you don't even know about 9/11. Your liberal Democrat teacher hasn't taught you properly. Or Sean Hannity and Hush Bimbo and those guys have been telling you, USA, USA, man up, drop and give me 200. You're all worthless and weak. they bombed us because America was so great. And the liberals are like, no, they bombed us because America is so racist. Who knows? Maybe both are true and both are false right here on the Clark the Shark Show. We may never know the truth of what happened there at 9/11. But all I know is you, young person, you're only 18 or 17 years old right now in 2024. Don't go get into Uriah Heep because of King Diamond or because, they sound like Deep Purple or, they don't, you guys. These guys entirely have their own sound, and their sound is so unique and special and different that it is to their detriment. That most heavy metal, hard rockin' fans aren't going to understand this band enough, like I do. Me, Clark the Shark, 1-800-449-8255. I want you, young person, to go buy Uriah Heep at Amazon, iTunes, Spotify. And if you can find the vinyls, go buy them. If you live near the Rhodium in Torrance, California, where I used to live, maybe go there and look for some Uriah Heep. And you tell them you heard it right here on the Clark the Shark Show from the golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's a Sharkerphone, not a microphone, because it's the Wolfman Jack on crack, baby. And I'm coming to you live, #1 on Venus, Saturn, of course, Earth, Jupiter, Mars, Neptune, but certainly and especially on Uranus, right here on the Clark the Shark Show. And I'm out of here. Peace.